I can't do your job. I don't know how you do your job. I'm in awe of every single one of you. And I'm not just saying that. I'd kill a kid. If I was my teacher, I would have killed me first. But what do we do? People say, we educate. Whatever. Sure, we educate. I have children. When teachers get my kids, got it. Thank you for the education. Inspire them. Give them hope. Show them you care. Give them that power so that we can release them and let them do greater things than we could ever do, because we just need them to take off. And I think, I'm K through 12 here in Sapulpa. And I went to Woodlawn. Those Woodlawn teachers, they did that for me. Every single one of them. Mrs. Holderman in kindergarten, Mrs. Craig, Mrs. Cox, Mrs. Georgia Whitworth, Miss Kay Donathan, and Miss Ruby Walkup. Every single one of them lit a fire in me and sent me to the next, and sent me to the next, and sent me to the next. And it's these things, I don't know what we learned. I was so proud. I wrote a book about tracking down Saddam, and right down the street they had a book signing about 10, 11 years ago. And every single one through 5 of my elementary school teachers showed up. And I thought, they must really care. Then I thought, they might be checking to see if I really wrote the book. I'm pretty sure they're not sure if I ever read a book. But they did things that they'll never remember, but that I'll never forget. Georgia Whitworth, 3rd grade. I always wanted to have perfect attendance. And it should have been real easy, because my mom, she raised me. And you were not allowed to miss school under any circumstances whatsoever. She was a hard-working lady, and she needed the money. And if you stayed home, she stayed home. So guess who wasn't staying home? You. And I got the flu really bad. And I'm deep into second semester. It's perfect attendance. And I couldn't make it. And I'm throwing up all day. And Georgia Whitworth called my home. And I hear my mom going, no, he's not dead. Because George's like, Lois ain't gonna let that boy miss school. No, I know you're upset. He's upset too. And she came to me and she said, that was your teacher. She called to check on you. And I'll never forget that. I never talked to Georgia. I was terrified of Georgia because I admired her so much. She was the sweetest, kindest lady in the world. I wasn't fearful of her. I was just in such awe of her. She called my house. Kay Donathan, in the 4th grade. There was a child who got held back. And how fun is that, right? You get held back in the 4th grade. That's fun. There's no social ramifications to that one. Child had behavior issues. That entire year, there is nobody that got more attention, more special treatment, more love than that child from Kay Donathan. I remember thinking, man, it'd be awesome to get held back. Because she knew that's what that child needed. In the 5th grade, Ruby Walkup, she's my doll. It's so funny. The one thing I was going in, I was like, don't give me Ruby. Don't give me Mrs. Walkup. Ruby, right, ever. I didn't even know her first name. Don't give me Mrs. Walkup. Right, because she's a little bit older and she didn't seem fun and nice. Thank you, Lord, for giving me Ruby Walkup. And I was her guy. Like, I took care of that class. I was a lead. I was a leader in the class. I sat front and center, and as I went, so did the class. And we were just coming towards the end of the year, and they brought a magician, right? And the whole school was going to go see this magician. And which is good. Let's bring some wizardry in to get everyone inspired. And so as we're going, and one of the other kids in the classes were leaving, said, Mrs. Walkup, can I give you a kiss on the cheek on the way out? She's, okay, sure. And the next child said, can I do it? Yeah, and then if some kid said, okay, everybody has to give Mrs. Walker a kiss on the way out of school, on the way to the assembly, and so everyone's going by, and I just sat there. And my best friend, Robbie Morgan, he just did what I did, and he's looking at me, and he's just sitting there, right? And I wasn't going to do it. I was standing my ground. I wish I could have gone and given her a big old hug, and I would love to have given her 100 kisses on the cheek, but for some reason, I was going to be defiant. And I sat there, and everybody leaves, and finally Robbie breaks. Freaking wingman's gone. And I'm sitting there, and Mrs. walked up, she didn't say anything, she wasn't going to force me to do it, she just said, what's wrong? I said, nothing, but I'm not doing it. She looks at me and she said, all right, you don't have to. She goes, let's go to this assembly together. She goes, I need to ask you a favor. She goes, will you please not tell the other children? She said, Eric, you and I got to stick together. You know what that does to a child? I will do anything for that lady. She's my angel. Forever. And then you go to middle school, right? And you're not in one single room, and I remember just being terrified. Because you go to class, and you got all these 7th graders, you got all these kids from all these schools, and I'm sitting in my room and I'm thinking to myself, Ruby Walkup ain't walking through that door. But they empowered me. They empowered me. And I know in this classroom right here, we don't have just teachers, right? We have everyone that does everything. And I grew up just a little bit outside of town, and I took the school bus because my mom was at work about 2 hours before I ever woke up. And I rode the bus. And from kindergarten all the way through that 7th grade, I was on the same bus with the same bus driver. And I'm always there at home by myself, and the bus driver comes, and it's a little bit of a walk to the bus stop. And it was so cold all the time, not all the time, but in the winter it's freezing, right? You want to go stand out there. And I had this thing, because the leaves would fall, and I could see like a half mile through the road, and I could see the bus coming on just off 49th West Avenue, and I could get to the bus stop before she came, and it was perfect. It's a perfect setup. And I'd get on the bus, and then occasionally I was sitting on the couch and I'd fall asleep. And the bus driver drove by, and I wake up to her honking. She stopped the car and she just honked. And I thought, how would you do that? I'm just a kid, you don't even know me. We've never even said anything to each other. And when I ran back down there and jumped on the bus, she just looked at me, and I'm like, oh, she cares too. And for 7 years, I've never said a single word to that lady. I didn't say hi, thank you, goodbye, nothing. You get on the bus and you leave. And it's this job that you all do without me thinking in gratitude or anything. But don't think we don't know. Because you'll never be thanked for what you do. And the parents, we're not going to thank you. I mean, hopefully some do, but for the most part, not our kid. You must be the problem. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And don't think it doesn't make a difference. And I just want to say this. I grew up in this town, and I know what we're dealing with here. I know what these children around this town, and I had it great, right? These are my parents, and if you get adopted, this is the lottery pick you want right here. But not every child gets that. And I just want you to know, with these prisoners, with life, with people, they live a life where people listen to them way less than 25%. And when they show up to your room, they're suffocating. They're suffocating, and they have to show it in different ways, by it's acting out, or being disruptive, or fighting, or hoping that somebody will have sex with them, or going through all this stuff and all this disruption. And all they desperately need is just to breathe. And sometimes, how many children do you have where you're the only breath of oxygen they get in the day? And I'm going to tell you this. That was a fun video where the guy said, hey man, let's come up here and blow some stuff up first day. I want you to run home and let's do this. And the superintendent, right, he's like, what if we do this and that? And I'm going to tell you, I'm on board with all of that. But I'm going to give you a bigger challenge. What if those first couple of days, you do what I can't do and most of the people in this world can't do? But what those kids need more than anything, they just need you. They need your undivided empathy. They need your love. They need a breath of oxygen that they may not get anywhere else. And that means they have to get you. And it's tough. And you got to do it every single day. And I don't know how you do it, but my recommendation, I was an Army guy and we were on teams. You guys got to look out for each other. You got to stick with each other. You got to care. You got to wait and go, wait, somebody's having a bad day. Let me get their back. How are you doing? Can I help you out? That encouragement from each other, because we are going to war. I mean, let's be honest. I would rather go to war than what you all are dealing with next week. And these are our angels. These are our children. But I want to finish it off with this. We live in the greatest country in the world. This country is a gift from God. And we've had it for 45, 50 years. But we're at a point that no one else had to deal with. We've had to deal with civil war. We got through that. We've had to deal with other wars and challenges. But we are dealing with a world of open communication that we've never dealt with before. And don't think that anyone else has challenges like this. And the future of this country is our children. It's not the big city. It's not our military might. It's every single small town that has a school like this where the community rallies and says, this is our world, this is our future, and the future is our children, and we're all going to chip in, but at the point of the spear is you. I don't know if you understand how valuable you are, because I travel the world. I'm all over the world, like it or not. I wish I wasn't, but I travel all over the world, and I see, you know what's amazing? People don't hate America. People love America. You're American? I wish I could go there. And it's not because they like our president or our politics or our big buildings. It's because our children get this shot. And it doesn't happen anywhere else but here. And it won't last forever. And it can easily go away if it wasn't for you all. So please, 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 stick together. Give these kids you. And they'll come to you. They'll love you. They may never tell you, but you're changing the world. And there's no greater honor than what you all do. I wish you all the very best, and I want you to please know, I live in this town. If you need my help, you know you can call me. If you have a child that thinks they want to join the military, they don't know who to talk to, please call me. If you're in history class and you're covering the war of 2003, call me. If the ROTC program needs we got the jarhead perspective. If you want the Army perspective, I know. Okay, not all kids are harder than woodpecker lips, right? I mean, come on, we can't all be jarheads. For the softies who want to be in the Army, introduce you guys to my Delta Force buddies. You have a community that loves you, admires you. We're behind you all the way. God bless you all. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.